Hello everybody, welcome back to the Cranky Film Channel. Today we're coming at you another internet historian, the coast of
Oh,
Concordia.
oh
Yes.
dang.
We couldn't watch The Cave as requested since it was taken down on his channel. So, we got another request to do
Spoiler.
this one.
Cool.
And Internet Historian will never fail. All of the stories she
Oh
tells
yeah,
is very interesting,
they
to be
really
real
are.
honest. It's either
Very
like really
informative
effed
too.
up or really dumb.
Yeah. Well, it's at least some history that everyone would want to hear.
Yeah, or they wouldn't even believe what happened.
True.
So, you guys ready to get into this reaction?
Sure,
Let's
yeah.
get to it.
Let's get straight to it. 46 minutes.
Oh my.
The Costa
Wrapped up.
Got me
Concordia,
some tea, I'm ready.
ship of dreams. It's been 8 years.
My man looking hot.
I can still smell the buffets from their 5
Oh, I think I remember the
restaurants.
Concordia.
The casino and 3-story theater had hardly
Really?
been used.
I don't know anything about it.
Gym,
Wasn't this a
the
new
day
ship?
spa, the
Could not
sheets
tell
in
you.
her 1,500
Think
luxurious
so.
cabins.
Ah, for
hadn't
sure.
even been slept in.
Oh, I was just playing games all
Costa
day.
Concordia cost $570 million.
Damn.
Wow.
And
God damn.
You could really tell.
I would never go on a cruise ship, to be honest.
Nope, me neither.
Oh, Brandon would die before getting on one.
Yeah.
I'm
You'd have to force
I
me.
remember it like it was just a few years ago.
the fact that
We
you're
had
on.
left Civitavecchia, a port in Rome, and we were making our way to Savona. It was day 2 of our 7-day journey.
7-day
But
cruise
that
trip.
ship, she was
First, I think
cursed.
cruises are a waste of money. But that's just me.
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side instead of smashing.
A
Tragic.
bad omen. But I'm
Oh,
not
no.
the superstitious type. Nothing could go
Underneath a
wrong on
bridge?
Friday the 13th of January, 2012, on the 100th year anniversary
Oh,
of the
shit.
Titanic. On a ship
Literally.
that's also only safety rated for 2-compartment flooding.
I don't think they're
Especially
wasting
not
money,
when
Cody.
you have a
I just.
5-star max level captain like Francisco.
Oh my
Scatino.
god.
A man who mysteriously rose from head of security to the position of captain within just a couple of years.
Wait, security,
He
the
knows
captain?
exactly what to do in
That's
case
odd.
of an emergency.
Wow.
For example, when he caused this emergency in 2008, when he crashed into a port in
Oh.
Sicily. And in
Oh.
2010, in Warnemünde, Germany, when he was steering a different ship and came into
How
port
the
too fast
fuck?
and caused another collision.
How the how did he
Got a good
keep the
feeling.
jobs?
Yeah, they should have been done after the first crash.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful evening. People are having fun on the slides, drinks at the bar. Antonio Magnotta is playing piano at the restaurant. Martin the Magician
Okay.
is setting up for his show. And the ship is setting up for a little detour. It's called a sail by salute. Basically, you get real close to the shore and honk the horn. The locals
Tilted.
but the customers love it.
You know
and
what?
It's a tradition. Scatino, the captain, comes into the dining hall with a lady, Dominica Samorton.
Oh, God.
Remember this
Okay.
face because you'll be seeing a lot of it later.
Oh.
Scatino eats
Oh,
his dinner
boy.
with her and socializes for a little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge. It's time for that sail by salute. This time, they're going to get closer than ever.
No.
Just 1,500
No.
feet from the island of Giglio. And
Good
how
lord.
are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it.
Okay. No wonder you
Apparently
got
it's
so
not
many
uncomfortable
crashes.
to do.
He's
Oh,
gonna
so
Scatino
eyeball
turns to
it.
the fella steering, his helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin.
Okay.
That's what he looks
First
like.
interesting tidbit. Costa Crociere has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner.
What?
It's his first time steering a massive
All
ship,
these people
and
are
he's very
not
excited.
qualified for
At
this.
least we think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian
Oh,
very well.
God.
Off to a good start. The second in command
That was
orders
the
the
officer's
helmsman
job.
to 290. Now, don't be confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time, the captain whips out his cell phone and calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore.
Okay.
The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing.
Oh my
We're
god.
going
All
closer
in.
than ever
Don't.
been before.
If
Captain's
the
eyeballing
past
it again.
captain tells you not to.
New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman.
Oh no.
Downstairs, Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course,
Oh, good.
that means that there's already a lady inside this box. She's waiting
Yeah.
for the cue, and then she'll poke her legs out. The captain is giving more orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase speed to 16 knots. Going this
Six-
fast
oh,
is
no.
going to be a
16
fatal
knots
error.
kind of quick.
But
for
before we
a
talk
boat
about
that size.
let's talk about another big problem. Language barrier. Because at this point, the captain says 325, but the helmsman relays 315.
Oh god.
So the first officer intervenes, and he goes, no, 335, which is also wrong. And then the captain clarifies, no,
What is this?
325. The helmsman confirms 325.
Okay.
Yet poor communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they
No.
Oh no.
The captain
Are they
should
using a
and
crash?
would know this, except for the next problem: complacency about procedure. The standard procedure of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that.
Oh god.
330, he says. The helmsman relays 330. The ship reaches
330.
16 knots. The captain then turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel. A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn. Scatino notices white foam of waves breaking
my
against the
God.
rocks directly
No.
in front of him in the distance.
Then they can't turn
The
it.
Costa Concordia, right now, is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without deviation, there is going to be a direct
God.
collision.
It's Valheim all over again.
Scatino immediately
my
commands
God.
the ship to start turning away. 335. Not enough. The captain shouts,
The momentum
340.
is too much.
The captain yells, 350.
Oh my lord.
Now, remember how I said that accelerating to 16 knots was a fatal error? Well, that's because it's made this ship incapable of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working. You're turning, and you're just going
Oh
straight.
my
You want to go
God.
over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of 350, right now the bow is still only pointing at 327.
Oh
Not
dear.
nearly enough to miss
God,
the
he's
rock.
about to hit the rocks.
And oh no, it's about to get worse.
Yeah.
That language barrier again. In these critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340. The captain snaps back, 350 starboard or we end up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman. Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions.
Okay.
The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20,
Okay.
and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But at this point, even if they clear these rocks, they need to get the
God.
rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells, midship, which centers the rudder. The bow is now less than 150 meters from Skull Rock. Port 10. But the helmsman only
This
gets
is
to port
intense.
5 before another order is given 2 seconds later. Port 20.
Yeah, it
They
is.
might just
I'm locked
avoid
in.
disaster here, maybe. But then, oh no.
No, come
One
on.
more time, the helmsman cocks up.
He
at
has to go to the
worst
bathroom.
Possible moment.
He leaves.
The helmsman goes to starboard instead
Oh
of
my
port,
god.
undoing the swing. 8
No.
seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near miss into a sure hit. All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly passes by the rocks. Hard to port! The second officer yells, "We're gonna hit!" Collision.
Oh lord.
Imagine how that would fail on a boat.
Oh yeah, that's gonna
Never
that's gotta
will.
be that's gotta be like a
No, not the pasta.
earthquake.
Oh,
Not the pasta.
dude, his white clothes, man. The wine.
I've been wrench.
I hope people didn't
Cover.
die. Surely
I
not.
don't think anybody died.
Yeah, no.
They were so
Like,
close to shore. I'm pretty sure rescue could come fast enough.
No, it
It
didn't.
exploded. instantly.
Downtown, Nord
Yes,
Town.
NordVPN.
Oh,
It's day 56, playing
God.
Russian roulette. Seems I never win.
Gonna drink
What?
all by yourself?
Somebody has to.
How do you know?
I hear you're a man
Shows
who's
me
good
dead.
at finding folks.
I'm many things.
I'm looking for this fella. I got to find him. It's breaking my little heart.
I'll see what I can do.
You'll
I
never
have
figure that
contacts
out.
of Thousands
Yeah.
of servers in dozens of countries
Oh my
across
God.
the globe.
I hate that
And just
though.
like that, she
It
was
is
gone.
annoying.
You just clicked on a
Even if
random
you
ass
left was
video.
a
It's
call.
like, you can't. Oh, F you. Don't recommend me yet then.
Sometimes when you follow a case,
This
it
freaking
follows you
advertisement.
back. NordVPN can protect my online data. But who can protect me from myself? When they say
No.
this job gets easier,
my God.
it was just another lie.
It's a laptop.
Forensics
That
found
isn't a
its
live
password spread
laptop.
all the way down the block. In a perfect
That was the
world,
blue
we'd all
screen.
use NordVPN.
It's dead.
But I guess this isn't that kind of story. I took the brakes off my car. Man like me never really learned how to stop. I took the steering wheel out too. I let the road take me where I'm supposed to be. That's right, Toots. Your husband's dead. Merry Christmas.
No, not the snow globe.
Go to nordvpn.com/internet historian for a huge discount on a 2-year plan.
Dude, that's crazy, bro.
Advertisement.
The ship hits rocks on the port side. A 53-meter gash opens in the
Damn.
hull, and
53
thousands
meter?
of tons
Yeah.
of water begin
Could
pouring in.
not be me.
A loud scraping and bang is heard
Do
by
not
all
like
passengers.
boats.
At the helm is panic. Rumblings in the dining room. Martin awkwardly pauses his act as he's helping his assistant into the box. Meanwhile, the lady inside
Let me
is
out, let
trapped
me
and
out.
terrified. There's confusion
Yeah,
across the
I
ship.
would be too.
All of the crew off shift come back on duty. All officers run to the bridge. Technical crews run down to the lower decks to assess damage. On connection with the rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots.
Okay.
And they are now adrift. Close
Oh,
the watertight
no.
doors at stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines stop working through
Damn.
flooding.
Yeah.
22 seconds later, a blackout happens.
Beep.
Lights, electrics, the water pumps too. Everything. The captain orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position of the rudder before power to that too is lost. The Costa Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness.
Yep.
Yes.
A
Yeah,
quick breakdown
nice.
of
So
the flooding.
black.
When the Concordia struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments.
Oh.
At first, compartment 5, which
Okay.
filled very rapidly. Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly after.
Oh.
Then 7, 8, and 3.
So
Modern
it hit
ships
where
are
the
built to
engines
withstand
were.
2
Yeah.
compartment breaches. These compartments, especially though, are a problem because they contain the engines and the
most
electrics.
unlucky part to hit.
These main generators give
Yeah.
power to the whole ship. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions. Pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage.
Sucks.
A few seconds later, the emergency batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on.
Let's go.
When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage. And it caused a huge
Oh, well,
panic
okay.
in the theatre, as passengers are trying to flee to their cabins and to muster stations. People already in their
Where did
cabins
Martin
come out
go?
and start putting on life vests. Staff rally and try to calm
Dude,
everyone
I'd be
down.
dead.
Everything's fine.
No,
There's
no,
need
but
for
hear this.
rest.
Hear what's
Please
what's
return to
happening.
your cabins. The emergency generator starts. All of the watertight doors close except for door 12,
Oh, rip.
which is jammed. The captain calls Pilot, the chief engineer, as the ship begins to list on the port side. There's water coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water.
I'd be pissed off.
Dude.
Down the other side. In a moment, we'll start the pumps. I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further
No.
increasing panic. On the bridge, an announcement is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout.
Okay. Yeah, smart.
The deputy chief engineer enters the engine control room. He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
The captain to inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation, and we'll inform you.
You can't explain that.
Thank you for your attention.
You can't explain the tilting.
Coincidentally, at the same
Alright.
time, in the
The
restaurant,
blackout,
they're
dude.
playing "My Heart Will Go On," and it's very much
Let's
not helping
go.
the situation.
Oh hell yeah.
The captain calls the Costa Crisis Unit, Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the
Ferrarini?
crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages, and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the engine. You know, hoist the sails? Anyway,
God.
around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore, which is a very good thing because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as possible.
Yeah.
A panicked passenger senses that something is off. This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus,
Points.
there was a massive crashing noise, and now the ship is tilting. So, she contacts her daughter in Italy. The daughter then calls the police.
Okay.
And the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between Pilon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything. They're saying at this point that the ship is going down. The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually, 2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability
3.
isn't in danger. Wrong. Passengers begin going to muster stations on their own initiative. The cruise director says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. How long has this blackout been going on? About 20 minutes.
Good lord.
Have you asked passengers to put on life vests? It's just a blackout. I gotta go. The harbour master
What in the world?
is suspicious.
This guy.
He says to his superiors that he thinks something more is going on. He calls a patrol boat to the area and asks them to look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pilon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire.
I'm as the
captain's on
MVP.
phone to the
He's
lower
trying
deck.
the hardest.
Stress.
Pointless
My man is
question.
stressed.
Like, is it still flooded? Yes.
No.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
The captain is
Yes,
essentially
it
in
is.
denial of the situation.
This captain's so
The harbour
dumb.
master calls
Yeah, they
again.
should have be captain.
Finally, he says,
Jesus.
"The ship is taking
Man's
off
better go
with
down with this
opening on
ship."
the left side,
Yeah,
and
alright.
the ship is listing." He qualifies with, "No one dead or injured." The harbour master asks if he needs help. "Just a tugboat?" When in reality, they need a full rescue. With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally
Tugboats?
realizes that things are really bad, and they are not going to improve.
How? He's not
Coast Guard
qualified for
orders
any of
every
this.
available ship to
He
proceed.
doesn't even know procedures.
It's a lowly
The
card.
passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges. No problem. She
Who
said
are
this
you?
despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring out how to abandon ship.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang,
I was trying to say it too.
Local television has already picked up the story, and they begin
Oh, they ain't.
broadcasting live radio feeds.
Oh yeah,
Lord.
hell no, that's something wrong with that.
Captain, the passengers
No
are
one's
going
believing
on
that
board the
shit.
boats. Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees.
Start a
the
fire.
cooling fan has stopped. Pilon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own. The captain says, "No, stay."
Oh
We
my
leave.
god.
Nah, that's
So
that
what do we
shit.
do? General emergency? The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship.
God.
Abandoned ship. Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm. But at this time, proceed to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4.
The Livorno Coast Guard calls again. The captain declares distress. The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations. They contact Pietro Mille, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pilon
drifting.
shuts down the emergency generator for the final time.
Oh
We got
no.
a job to do.
The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already going. Luckily, the ship is very close to shore.
That's so
Oh,
good.
Perhaps too close to shore,
Oh.
the ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven center of gravity. And it begins heavily listing starboard.
God.
The captain issues
The
a
whole
general
country
emergency
moves
order.
because of
The
this.
announcement to
The
abandon ship
tectonic
is
plates
finally
get
called
shifted.
And alarms ring
Oh
out.
my God, no,
and with
please.
that comes panic. And now that they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to
Oh,
enter
God.
the water, there aren't enough readily available, and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off.
I am
The patrol boats
hopping on
report to
one.
Livorno Harbour
Hop
Master
off
that
on
the
the
ship
first
has run
one.
aground
Oh,
and is
no
listing
shit.
heavily. So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says, no, the ship is still floating. In fact,
Good
we're trying
Lord.
to maneuver
There's
it
no
on
point in
shore."
lying about it now.
They know he's lying.
Big dog, you're gonna be fired.
The
Nevertheless.
captain says to bottom out the
Probably
starboard
even
anchor.
worse.
So they
Just
drop
relaying
out
false
the anchor,
information.
but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them
Oh
useless.
my God.
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor of Giglio, Mario Pellegrini, and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at
Dude,
the harbor.
Italians
They
have the
watch
coolest
scene unfold.
names.
I know,
As the
right?
first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy
Of course,
mayor
mine
takes
would
the
probably
initiative
just be
and races
Marcus.
to board one of the lifeboats,
Marcus.
returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and starts helping passengers. Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit.
What?
Priorities. Dimitri Christidis and Silvia
Idiot.
Coronica leave with him. The
He
matron
has
and
to
some
be
more
with
can
his
both get
uniform.
out of there. By this point, approximately 300
I hope he's not
people
trying to,
are
like,
still on the
escape.
ship. Millet
Yeah,
reaches
disappear into the
helicopter.
night.
The
Disappear,
first
yeah.
helicopter,
That's what he's gonna
a
try to do.
slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already
yeah,
rising from
I
the
think that's what
tarmac
he's
for
trying
the
to do.
hour-long flight south. Bozio is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation. He then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats. The bridge is now
F-boats.
abandoned. And then, the ship's black box stops working.
Ah, rip.
Apparently, there are technical problems with it. That means, from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive. But they're
black
struggling
box
to
stopped
find the ship
working,
because
ow.
they're expecting it to still
Unplug
be
it
well
and plug
above
it back
water.
in.
Passengers are
God.
scaling down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
No.
No joke. Oh my goodness.
Oh, dude,
No
worst part is there's probably people like in wheelchairs and stuff.
Yeah.
Children who
No.
can't do that.
Make a film
I'm
movie.
allowed.
A
I
second
am
helicopter,
just-
Say you are
a faster
allowed.
model, sets off. The ship
Who are
stops
you?
healing and comes to a final resting place.
Damn.
Let's
Now,
go.
the Coast Guard calls the captain because he's just learned that the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually, I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats.
This
Oh,
fucking
I'm glad.
raviolis.
But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board.
Yeah, man.
And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes it to shore. From
What an
here, we
idiot.
only
Come
have mainstream
on.
news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super
Yeah,
accurate.
you're down
But
with
they
your
say
ship,
that
man,
Julius
like you
believes
said earlier.
That's
hundreds
the
of
rule.
survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara, and among them is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact, the police chief
What a
claimed that he
coward.
just sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescuing. A while later, a rescue boat picks up the captain and takes him to the harbour. He speaks to the police. He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and
let's
cries to
go.
him for about 15 minutes. Then
Raphael.
he goes to the harbour master's office to receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life. Port authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel. The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas.
Where he gets assassinated when he gets
According to
home.
the cabbie, he was
Oh my
beaten like
God.
a dog. He was cold and afraid.
Wha-
He only
what a
asked
movie,
if he
dude.
could buy a pair of fresh socks.
The end of the movie is him getting hired
Then he
again.
perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain?
We were the last to leave the ship.
Oh my, this guy's full of shit.
All day Saturday, rescuers searched for people on the ship.
What?
On
the-
Sunday morning, a South Korean couple
That is
was
a
found in
liar.
their cabin, safe but shivering. They
Oh,
had
damn.
slipped through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin.
Oh
That
fuck.
sucks.
F that.
Manrico
They're
Gianfranco
lucky. They're lucky.
was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin service director.
Aw.
In the end, 32 people died.
Damn.
The final body wasn't discovered until nearly 3 years later. A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship.
My man.
The Costa Concordia
More of a man than
was
the
the
captain.
largest cruise ship disaster since the Titanic.
Jesus.
And then there's the ship. This is what happens to a 110,000
Oh, where the hell is this
ton
OST
cruise
from?
liner when it's left half rolled over
Oh, Halo.
in
There
the
you
ocean.
go.
Yeah, it looks sad.
God.
Halo music's perfect actually for this.
Water damage and
Fuck.
Not the casino.
That looked like some like post-apocalyptic shit.
oh
Yes,
yeah.
it does.
Perfect music choice.
Yeah.
Damn. This whole thing could have been avoided if they actually picked a proper captain.
Yep.
But this isn't the end.
And then he
It's just
picked
the
someone who
halfway
didn't
point.
require a
What
language
most
barrier.
people know
Yeah.
is that the Costa Concordia
And
was
actually
crashed,
knew how to operate a
many dead,
boat,
and
not
the
paint.
captain abandoned ship like a coward. But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to
Oh,
untangle.
yes.
Let's dive in.
Oh god.
So I eat spaghetti. Anything.
The detail. The
deets.
detail.
Oh
No
my
way you're
God.
making spaghetti just for that.
Okay.
Yo!
Oh,
Hey! Oh, no!
big man.
Looting.
Oh god, there's some PUBG loot boxes going on.
Loot box time. The Costa Concordia was more than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching. This iron chest was full of safes and cash
hat
registers
blues.
and expensive fittings. And there were plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities and try
Play
their
some
luck
PUBG
in the hot
dogs.
zone. Within days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the
Loot.
ship, were now
I got some wet socks.
high-end liquor, expensive
My
furniture,
sucks.
dining sets, cash from the casino, cash registers,
Oh, it's kinda big,
jewelry
though.
and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists, as well as the iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never
They
found.
took the bell.
Who
Wow,
steals
man.
a big fuck-off bell? Even the server admins were getting involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship. A patrol boat was
That man is
and
there,
they were
bruh.
inside the fancy suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing and thieving and pinching.
4 to
Later
6
on,
months in
stolen
jail.
as well as legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
It even has a watermark.
Some Australian guy even made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect. And
Really?
although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
Depressing.
Oh.
Oh, my lord.
The relationship. Oh my god.
I know
Oh,
you want to see Scatino go to jail, and we'll get to that.
Yeah,
But first,
Jill.
we have to talk about someone else. Dominica Samor.
Hey.
That was a close
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
Intense media speculation reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They both denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome. And how could you not?
You so fucking when you
Damn!
But she says there was
Gross.
no romantic link between them.
Some people would like to believe, they want to know I have something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, you know, some
She
spicy in the story.
Miss Morton also loved the spotlight.
I want to know.
Everyone, oh look!
And took several interviews. But as the pressure mounted upon her, she began making ominous threats to Scatino, saying he must confess, and that you have but 1 week to come clean. But things from here get
Derpy
weird.
fist.
Spicy.
Sir Morton is a bit of a wild
Spicy.
In a subsequent interview,
Brunette.
she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package. Huh? And what was that package? Drugs, apparently.
What?
So rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia, and not without cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have been caught trafficking drugs. As an aside, Scatino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash. He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Makes it smoother and less dry.
Nonetheless, the Concordia was searched and no drugs were reportedly ever found. How did we get here?
Oh, right, stolen.
Sir Morton commented
Imagine me that body
and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship? Wait, how did we get here? Oh, right, sex with the captain.
Yeah!
Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin, where they found Miss Sir Morton's lingerie and other articles of clothing, as well as a makeup bag. The jig was up, but they continued denying it. Sir Morton mostly faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony. The judge pressed her to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
Either tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Stop.
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
Oh God.
Who cares?
Oh my God!
She and Scatino had been having an affair for several weeks.
What
She also
editing,
said
dude?
that
That's
on
great.
the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And didn't need to pay, because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover. Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I die, because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems.
What?
And today I died the second time because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
Subsequent to the trial, she used her fame in Moldova
I'm
to
so
become
sorry
a
to hear.
political
I'm
activist,
so sorry.
often appearing on
twice.
television and radio and in articles
Died
covering
twice.
protests,
Most
accompanied by pictures
confusing.
of her being arrested by police.
That's added up some charges.
It was some stuff about victims of violence, women's rights,
Girl power?
yada,
Crazy.
yada. And interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia.
Sure.
Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her Oh God,
No.
not again.
Run away. Oh.
Love these.
Lawsuits.
Several civil
Many
suits were quickly lodged against Costa Crociere, and their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%.
Only?
Don't beat.
Passengers sought compensation for their damaged mental health, lost belongings, and loved ones.
Either they allowed him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking at the time, and was not only taking, but the time the ship was...
Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route. But that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route, and they tacitly encouraged sail by salutes. Now, in response to the civil suits, Costa Crociere offered passengers €11,000 each as compensation.
That's kind of small.
11,000 euros, about $14,000, is the minimum compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their
So
tickets,
that's
as well as any
minimum?
costs they accrued in having to
11.
unexpectedly travel home early.
€1,000 for the
that
ticket.
was supposed to release them from everything and anything
God.
that has to do with this accident. I
Cheap,
cannot
dude.
ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused to take the money.
We think the offer is an insult. For what these poor passengers went through, we think that the compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Take it.
Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge agrees. Costa Crociere is now off the hook for all criminal liability for the whole thing. They've washed their hands of the incident and flecked the residual droplets of responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members. Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been able to avoid criminal responsibility.
Yeah, it's wild.
Civil suits against the company continue. By the way, the residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much. Eventually, passengers who refused the initial compensation of $11,000 joined civil parties against Schettino in his trial in 2015.
It's not commensurate.
They were awarded €30,000 each. Other cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
Oh my god.
What is this?
Holy cow.
A scam?
Attorney Peter Renee traveled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Renee & Renee, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up via email. An elderly woman, Alona, said,
"Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana."
So Mr. Renai agreed to speak with her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story. Neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger list. Odd, but Costa is known for having stowaways. Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket. Ilona said,
"Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll know all the details."
I'm up all night. I'm going crazy, he said. But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked,
eyebrow, dude.
"How much money do you think this is worth?"
Of course.
This is a huge red flag, Petey. In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now? So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Oh, hoi hoi. It was the boyfriend again. Look, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding and the child isn't missing at all.
What?
And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before. Oh. Okay, can I speak to the daughter then? At first, he was refused. So Renai said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night, Renai met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. "Yeah, I saw her today." "Oh, really?" "Yeah, we went to the park today and
don't
we went
lie,
on the
man.
swings." Oh no,
People really trying to
the
go
jig
from
was up.
free money.
So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. "It's a miracle." And the story changed again. "Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries."
Health pot.
Oh, Petey, I'm beginning to think they weren't even on the boat. Also, it turns out this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, "Hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money." And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
Ah. What a word. Oh god. No! Oh, rip his arms. Rip his arms. Shredded.
Vada bordo.
Mario, would you teach me some Italian?
Oh, of course.
Get back on board, for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio DeFalco, the naval officer who shouted at Schettino to "Vada a bordo caso," became a bit of a national hero overnight in Italy. He, like the rest of the world, expected Schettino to go down with the ship.
Ah, should. Oh my god.
And when the captain chickened out, DeFalco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast. When the captain first reported just a blackout, DeFalco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which likely saved several lives. His actions were applauded by most Italians who were tired of their public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility. Accordingly, shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week, others setting it as their phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014, without warning, DeFalco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Oh God, look at this.
Hear what I said? You've been demoted.
DeFalco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. DeFalco was Tres Furioso, and there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other hand, his boss said, no, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's leave that alone. And anyway, in 2018, DeFalco said buenas noches, ya later, to the Italian Navy to become a politician. In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
I'm the captain now.
Man from...
Oh my god, no.
Don't hit it!
Oh my gosh. Jail time.
Jail time.
The day after the disaster, Schettino was taken into custody by police and underwent questioning. However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli.
But his mistakes caused 33 people to die, though.
He was allowed within this general area.
Man needs to be in there for life, let's be real.
While under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says. I don't speak Italian. But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Hold on, I got it. Not content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well.
He did?
Schettino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court. And all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences are that they must provide witness testimony against Schettino.
Okay. He touched me.
Ciro, Jacob, and Silvia were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or house arrest. Not a bad deal.
A good deal. Good deal.
And that meant that Schettino was now all on his own. Ciro, the first officer, was the first to give his testimony.
He hired everybody.
On the witness stand, he claimed that Schettino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge.
Oh shit!
Yo! Let's go, dude!
Who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn, and he said Lamau XD because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta. And when they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just scalped again. And he hasn't been found since.
He did.
That he gave his testimony.
Witness testimony.
Look, we don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty! Schettino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison.
Do you get that out here for manslaughter with 1?
The appeals trial begins. And the verdict on the appeal? Surprise! Rejected. So Schettino's lawyers appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
Rejected.
Schettino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal, but was denied by the prosecution each time. The prosecution called for Schettino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a Titanic affair.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Schettino was not present. His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
Oh. 5 years.
I will not be making any comment.
Oh.
my god.
Rock. Oh god.
Hey, that's cool.
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2
Mine is
years
ship
and cost an
tips.
estimated
Imagine.
$1.2 billion. Beginning in early 2012, they first spent 2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around. In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform. The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly. By late 2013, the ship was upright once more.
Jeez.
The sponsons were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially above water and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons and compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship. And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin. That same weekend of the towing, Schettino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local newspaper, flanked by 2 of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes.
That was a journey and a half.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
it was wild.
So these are the things that I remember from the Costa Concordia. That sweet maiden of the sea.
Hey, whatever happened to the
and
bell?
as for you, little fella.
This is the guy who took the bell.
Well, it's time to return you.
He's polishing it.
From whence you came.
Oh no! You heard that? Ah!
Yeah.
That was from. Oh my god, that was from the movie.
6 quick things. 1. NordVPN, good product, check them out. Number 2. There's a new video on the second channel. You probably didn't see it because it was temporarily restricted. Now it's not. Enjoy. 3. If you've never seen the second channel before, give it a go. It's a different type of content, but we put a lot of production into it. It's not just offcuts. 4. There are a couple secret channels as well, but I ain't telling you where they are. 5. No more 45-minute videos on the main channel. Back to 10 to 15 minutes and more of them. 6. There's a Q&A coming out next week on incognito mode. It's got a ton of detail that we had to cut for the sake of brevity and will no doubt feature a ton of corrections as well. That's it. Thank you.
That's it.
Spicy.
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 That was a whole damn journey. With this
Yes,
stupid
it was.
one. Jesus Christ. So much mistakes were made.
Yeah.
What a guy, bro.
I remember watching it on YouTube how people released their videos of the Costa Concordia sinking.
Yeah.
Their experiences and everything. It was crazy.
Dude, I was so busy just gaming in school. I did not care about the news in 2012. I'll tell you that.
You know what happened when it was in 2012? I was 12 years old, man.
Oh, damn. Anybody, thank you guys for watching. Really good videos always from Internet Story. Top notch, good quality and all that. And if you guys have any videos you want us to watch or react, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section down below. We'll gladly get to it. So, if you like the video, like, comment, and sub. We'll see you in the next one. Stay cranky.